Yeah, I was gonna ask you about deadlines too, as far as like how you have to kind of like implement your own deadlines and keep trucking until something happens, which is again super hard for like a
Yeah.
feature. But
Yeah. I mean, and that has sort of varied throughout my career. Like sometimes I get like a burst of creative energy and like want to get it done, but obviously because there are so many dependencies in actually like getting on set to shoot the thing that like you set out to shoot. I mean, that's, you also have to like be very flexible, I think, with that kind of thing. Especially if you're, crowdfunding something.
yeah,
That's also something that I felt like I had to strategize when I crowdfunded my last short. There was no hard data from like Seed and Spark that said, crowdfunding campaigns during the month of November and December, have this much engagement,
totally.
um, for example. But I was willing to take a risk and say, well, you don't have the hard numbers on, how well a crowdfunding campaign does. And, there is the fact that like people will be traveling and maybe miss out on your emails or miss your posts or that kind of thing. But I really relied on the notion that people would be more charitable and giving in December, even though like a lot of people just sort of like go on, virtual vacation, not check their email. And that seemed to work, so that was like one kind of strategy that I like attempted that I think paid off in terms of getting a film made. Um, um, Sorry, where were we?
I don't know.
We're just talking general strategy. Oh, well, going back to the feature, I mean,
We're
my
talking.
co-writer and I, yeah, I mean, we always wrote it with the intention of it getting made, period, but also getting made in short order, meaning that like we wouldn't just crank this thing out and it was gonna sit on a shelf,
Well, shit on
and yeah, or shit on a shelf. Yeah.
it.
So
So you've shot your own stuff before, and we've talked a little bit about like you know working with a DP and working with different DPs. Again, like in that kind of scalable kind of issue, right? Like some DPs are really great about that when you're like we only have like enough money for one light, so and they're like okay let's do it and they find a solution to it. Um, do you have any kind of anecdotes or thoughts on like the difference there between working with and collaborating with a DP versus just doing it yourself and some of the benefits and some of the problems that arise?
yeah. I mean, I think everybody's time is valuable. So the older I get, the more I try to remain aware of that in terms of everybody I'm sort of pulling into the process. And so that said, I don't know that I'll ever direct and shoot something at the same time ever again, unless it's like absolutely necessary, because you end up just sort of like wasting people's time. Like
Yeah,
everything takes so much longer
you have
if
to
you're
do.
gonna like talk through a shot and then like set it up yourself and then like shoot the thing and then the the potential for something to go wrong or for you to make a mistake either on the directing or the shooting side like increases exponentially, and I think you're just kind of like removing another level of like checks and balances if you're trying to like do more things than you should be doing.
Yeah,
And sort of that comes with like me sort of like evolving my craft over the years and saying like no, I want to focus more on like doing this better, and so I won't like attempt to shoot something again. I'd rather have someone who's like really good at that, and they're going to dedicate like all their time to making sure that component of the process is, on point.
So you're working on like a feature now. So obviously it takes a long time. And
Yes.
project takes so damn long. How do you maintain the integrity of the project over time? Like, do you have any tips or strategies to like keep the kind of creative juices flowing, stay excited about the movie and that kind of thing?
Yeah. You mean just the feature or just sort of?
I mean, if you have any specific examples, or what you've done in the past for the shorts and.
Yeah, I mean, I think now is a very unprecedented time to be developing a feature, because yeah, I mean, it's weird because, a lot of avenues of financing are not accessible for the kind of film I'm trying to do because, these same people are losing money on most of their movies that won't get festival play, won't get theatrical releases. So they're not going to be interested in my project as much as we may have their interest or not. So that is a challenge, but at the same time, I think that leaves kind of the opportunity for someone whose interests I might not otherwise have, who's at home quarantining like the rest of us, who will actually read the thing and potentially attach themselves to it, and that's one way to sort of get that financing, is to have, someone of higher note attached to a project. And, that's still kind of a dream at this point. But it seems like it's been more viable than other times I've tried to attach someone to my feature script.
Yeah, there's kind of things are not to get into all of that, but as far as like the current time, some things are more accessible, and the facade of barriers is a little bit broken down, which is interesting to me. But
it is, yeah. And I will say, the feature script we have now is so much more marketable than the last time like I've gotten anywhere near this close to, having people interested enough to, attach themselves to something.
yeah.
So it's, I mean, at the same time, a lot of people are just also playing it safe because I'm an untested director and they're just like, oh yeah, well, let us know when you fucking finish the movie. And it's like, well, thanks for nothing. Literally, thanks for nothing.
Chicken or the egg kind of thing. It's just like, well, just let us do it.
Yeah, we'll distribute the movie that you will never make without us.